concentrate on trying to answer and read comments, but we'll do our best. So thanks for joining us.
Okay, question number 1. How does a husband get the wife he prepares for himself?
How does a husband get the wife he prepares for himself? So 2 verses come to mind. In Ephesians 5:26, it says that Christ sanctifies and cleanses her with the washing of water by the word. And this is speaking about Christ's relationship to the church. And so it says that Christ sanctifies and cleanses the church with washing of water by the word. And since this is the marriage passage, the famous one in Ephesians 5, it also has great application for the marriage relationship. So in other words, what it's discussing Christ doing with the church is what husbands are supposed to do with their wives. And so the idea is Paul is saying that Christ sanctifies and cleanses the church, and husbands have that responsibility with their wives. So it's very sobering that to some extent husbands are partly responsible with the sanctification of our wives. And then the next verse, Ephesians 5:27, this is kind of the key verse to answer the question. It says, that he, that Christ might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. And there's a really tremendous truth contained in this verse, in the words, that he might present her to himself. And so the idea is Christ is presenting to himself the church that he has prepared for himself. But since this is the marriage passage, the application for marriages is that husbands get the wives they prepare for themselves. Just like Christ sanctifies and cleanses the church, it says, so he can get that glorious church that doesn't have spot or wrinkle or any such thing. So he gets the church that he prepares for himself, and husbands sanctify and cleanse their wives to get the wives that they prepare for themselves. And so really I'd say there's 2 reasons that husbands should be strong spiritual leaders in the marriage relationship. One reason, most obviously, is that God has commanded it. God has commanded husbands to sanctify and cleanse their wives, so that's one reason we should do so. But then the second reason is we end up with sanctified and cleansed wives. The man who leads his wife well spiritually will end up with a wife who's more spiritual and produces more of the fruit and behavior that he wants to see in the marriage relationship.